Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diagnosing the engine on this 1977 Datsun 240Z. I got this from Facebook Marketplace. Someone reached out and offered this up. Been off the road since 2010. I want to know what the condition of this engine is. We'll run through a couple diagnostic procedures you can run on any engine to find out the health if you can't get it started. So stay tuned and let's find out what's wrong with this engine. This is the reason why it's been off the road. This thing was T-boned or ran into a guardrail or something and found its way to an impound lot, and then it's just been sitting for a very long time. And so I don't have any plans to rebuild this thing. The frame's damaged, the whole car is tacoed. It is not savable. The only thing that is savable, the parts from this car. And so what surprised me, I threw a battery in it the other day and I just wanted to see if the engine was locked up. And so I just bumped the key and it actually fired right up immediately. And I actually have a video from that. I'll drop that in right here. So like I said, I couldn't believe it. Fired right up. It ran, it idled. It's been off the road since 2010. It's got 2010 fuel in it. I didn't think this thing was going to start at all. I was just hoping that the engine would turn over, and it fired up, it ran, it idled, it revved up a little bit, and then it started to peter out. It didn't smoke, nothing like that. The seller told me before this was in an accident, the engine had actually been rebuilt. Common story, right? Everybody says, hey, it has a rebuild engine, but I've looked around on here. I can't find a rebuild tag or anything like that. One indicator that that might actually be true is it's pretty clean in there. I don't know if you can see that, but cam lobes, everything looks pretty good. I've had a bore scope in the cylinders and the cylinders all look really good. Next step, compression test it, see what we got for compression numbers, and then we'll go from there. I really don't want to sell somebody an engine that is bad. I know it runs, obviously, and it didn't smoke. I couldn't get it through a full heat cycle. I don't want to sell anybody an engine that is bad, and at the same time, I don't want to price an engine, you know, at a core price and have it be perfectly good. What I'm going to do is I'll compression test it. I've already ran a bore scope through all of the cylinders. They all look pretty darn good. I can still see crosshatch in the cylinders. And so the compression test will tell us the health of the engine, and then we'll go from there. So let's get after it. Compression tester's hooked up on the first cylinder. I've got the throttle wide open. The battery bank is showing mostly full, so I think we are ready to go. Let's turn the key and see what we get. Unfortunately, I don't have a remote starter. Okay, that should be good enough. Probably too much. I guess the other thing I should note is I disconnected the EFI system, and we have, that's not good.
No good.
70 PSI, okay. All right. Oh, well, I guess that was loose, so that's good. Let's make sure it's tight in there again. Okay, I don't know if that made a difference or not. Fingers crossed. Let's try again. Really poor. We'll call that 85 PSI. On number one. Not good, not good. And I guess if all of these are low, then maybe I gotta check if that throttle body's actually open. Ooh, I should probably do that first. This next one will tell me. If this one's right around 90 as well, then maybe we got something going on. I need to find a way to keep that open. I mean, it is open, so I guess that's not really a concern. The more I move it, though, the looser it's getting. And it just wants to close. So I'll get a longer screwdriver. There we go. That's not going anywhere. All right, let's do it one more time. Cylinder 2. Okay, well, that one is, well, we'll say 140 PSI. Cylinder 2. I'll get the compression numbers for the other 4, and I'll report back. Cylinder 3, leak down numbers, 150. Okay, a little confused by this. I'm probably gonna do this one more time. Cylinder number 4, 175. Let's do that one more time. That seems weird. I mean, it's good compression, but don't get me wrong. Okay. Repeated it, 175. Cylinder 4, 175. Cylinder number 5, we have 165 PSI. Okay, but we're kind of all over the place. Move on to cylinder number 6. Okay, cylinder number 6, 170. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 were up, to about where they should be. Number 3 was higher than I would expect it to be, but I ain't complaining. So let's see if we can figure out what might be going on with cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 1. Okay, so I sprayed a little bit of oil into cylinder number 1. We're gonna go again. The idea here is that the oil will seal the rings, and if the compression numbers jump significantly, then it's an issue with the rings on the piston and not the valves. Let's check it out. Well, that starter is starting to sound pretty bad. Did not really help. And the good news is the starter is not hot. So next I'm gonna pop off this valve cover and just see if there's anything going on here, or give me an idea of what the engine looks like. And maybe the valves need adjusted. Unlikely, but since we know it's the oil around the rings didn't help, it's gotta be something up above. Okay. Well, one thing is for sure that these 2 cam lobes are up, so that means that both the valves should be completely closed. Okay. There's a little bit of play there, and there's a little bit of play there. So those valves are indeed closed. Okay, so I'm gonna try the oil trick one more time. Got some oil right up here in the head. Maybe the oil I put in there before just wasn't thick enough. Doubtful, but let's try it. Okay, well, I got some fresh oil down here. I was hoping to just reuse that oil, but I just squirted a little bit of this fresh in there. Okay, that's gonna be way too much. I'm sure of it. Don't want to lock this thing up. Bend a rod or something, so I'll just bump it. Just see what happens. Just a little bump. Okay, well, the compression did go up. There's no question about that. 120. That might be because there's a ton of oil in there, but it went up. Well, I got good oil pressure in here. That's good. Okay, well, I think what I'll do is I'll get a leak down tester and I'll start testing this just to see. So we know these are good, not so good. I ran a bore scope down in here and I could see there's carbon fouling on both the pistons. So I'm leaning towards this thing hasn't recently been rebuilt. I saw some cross hatching in there. I did see a little bit of scoring, which is so hard to tell if it's, anything serious. I mean, a lot of, engines that have normal miles on them have a little bit of scoring in there. And so that is the case here. Is it enough to give us that much of a leak? I'm not sure. So I think the next step is to do a leak down test on these two right here and see what that tells us. So let's get started with that. Okay, for reference, this thing is showing 79,364 miles. This thing was off the road in 2010. Looking at the pedal wear, hard to say. There's quite a bit of wear on that pedal, so is it 80,000? Is it 180,000? Probably 180 would be my guess. This is a 77, so probably 180. Got the leak down tester here. So basically the way this works is it feeds a set amount of air into the cylinders, and then there's a percentage of that that can leak out. You got high, moderate, and low. And so we want to be in this green band here. So got it plugged in number 1 to the top dead center. And then this is what's nice about this is also tells you, if you listen, you can hear where the air is going out. So you can tell if it's going out the intake, that would be the valves. If it sounds like it's down here, that's going to be coming past the rings. You can also tell, is it the exhaust valve if it's coming out the tailpipe? Is it the intake if it's coming out the throttle body? So, all right, let's get this plugged up. Okay, so that's not good. We've got a pretty high leak there. Let's see if we can hear where it is. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug this in. I got a length of hose here, and what's nice is you can just kind of put this to your ear and then put it down there. You can hear intake over there, exhaust, and so on. So that'll help you fine tune where that air might be going. So let's plug it in. Hopefully the air compressor won't turn on. It might, but if it does, eh. What's interesting is I hear it coming out of 2, so, and I might even feel it coming out of 2. So there might be a blown head gasket between 1 and 2. There's a little air coming out of the intake. I hear a tiny, tiny bit out of the exhaust. You're gonna have some leakage. So we've got a blown head gasket between 1 and 2. That's what's going on. Not terrible news. That's very easily fixable. That would explain the compression numbers between 1 and 2 being low. And so let's reverse this test. Let's put this in number 2. See if we can hear it coming across the other way. Let's get the number 2 on top dead center. Easiest way to know on these engines, or probably any engine, is these 2 cam lobes should be pointing at 10 and 2. Those are up. Let's plug this in. Okay, it's leaking, not as bad. If you remember our compression numbers, number 1 was like 90, number 2 was like 120. So let's see what we can hear. Yep, definitely hear it there. A little past the rings. Yeah, I think that settles it. Blown head gasket. Honestly, relatively easy fix as long as, you know, the head is not completely burned out through the 2. Okay, here's a look at number 5. Solid, very little leaks there. And that had good compression numbers. Let's check number 3, 55%. Not great. Let's see if we can hear where that's coming from. Intake valve. I can tell the intake valve because I can hear it out of the intake over there pretty strong. 4 was good. All right, number 5, sitting there pretty good. Got a leak down of about 15, 16%. So that's a good one. Compression was solid on that one. Nothing to worry about there. Okay, last one, number 6, had good compression. Don't expect any surprises here. Thought on that one with the intake valve, quite possibly the valve being open and sitting for 16 years. I have a little rust built up on it. That one is looking real good. A little bit of a leak. They all have a little bit of a leak. We're sitting at, I mean, it's in the set mark, so 9%, something like that. Cold motor, so that's good. Get all the compression numbers and all the leak down numbers. And I think we know what's going on here. We got a leaky intake valve and we have a blown head gasket. So, is the motor bad? Maybe. Is the motor easily fixable? Also maybe. Leak down tester, there's a look at this one. That's what I'm using. There are cheaper options out there. I can link one in the description below. All you need is this gauge set and an air compressor, and you are well on your way to diagnosing engines. So, okay, I think we got a good understanding what's going on. I'm kind of gonna wrap this up here. I don't know if I'll end up pulling the head. Probably not. Like I said, I'm gonna pass this on to somebody else. And so now, at least they'll know the true condition of this engine as it sits right here. Really, to take this to the next level, that head's gonna have to come off. And then you're gonna have to take a look at the cylinder head surface, make sure there's nothing weird going on there. Most likely it's just the gasket, very common between two cylinders to blow between them. Does happen, especially on a long head like this. You get a little heat in them, they warp, boom, blown head gasket. The intake valve, once that head's off, I would probably just take a look at the valve, see if there's any corrosion or anything on there. Worst case, your camshaft comes out and you lap that one valve, throw it back in there, and you've got a good head. At this point, if somebody wanted to just buy the head, I would do the work to pull it. If they wanted the whole block, it makes it easier for me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. This is kind of what I do all the time. So appreciate it. Thanks for watching.